How's it going, everyone? My name is Sinikle, and welcome back to yet another Higurashi, When They Cry. We're still in episode 8, Matsuribayashi, and we are going to go through all of the fragments. But if you would like to see the previous few videos where I've already gone through the few fragments, then the playlist link, as always, is in the description down below, so go ahead and check it out. But without further ado, let's go ahead and finish up the fragments. So next up we need to go to page 4. Gotcha. The Hojo siblings. A conflict between the Hojo family and the Sanozaki family is required. The self-introduction of Satoko Hojo is required. Gotcha. Let's do it. The Hojo family is well known for going against the whole village during the dam conflict. Both the husband and the wife were rather aggressive, and they fought a fierce battle, especially against the Sanozaki family. Although the whole village treated them coldly, the husband and wife didn't really care, and kept on fighting. In a way, they were extremely strong-willed people. I'm sure their children had to go through a lot because of them, though. Satoko and Satoshi were treated coldly by the villagers as well. In addition to that, Satoko-chan and her stepfather didn't get along, so their stress levels must have reached their limit. Because I'm the director of the local clinic, a rather respected member of society, people usually tell me a lot of things. So I was aware of the treatment they were receiving even before I met them. I met Satoshi Kun first. Satoshi Kun, god damn it, having to say that a lot is gonna fucking irritate the hell out of me. Oh well. Satoshi Kun came to the clinic because he felt ill from too much stress. He must have thought he had a cold. When I examined him, he even told me that. But hearing his repeated sighs, and by seeing the exhausted look in his eyes, I knew right away it wasn't just a simple cold. Medication would heal his symptoms, but that would only be a temporary measure. The only way to truly cure him would be to change his living environment. But that was easier said than done. He was surrounded by tangled and complicated relationships with the village and his family. So just resting for a few days and taking some medication wouldn't do. Time was the only thing that could ease off the cold treatment from the villagers, but we were talking a very, very long time. That's why I felt I had to be their first ally in this village, so I could rescue them. I couldn't do anything about his stressful environment, but I could try to diminish the anxiety. So I thought the best way to teach him how to vent his stress. And playing sports is the best way to do that. So I asked him to join the junior baseball team that I coach. So that's how it happened, huh? As a researcher, I devote most of my time to Hinamizawa syndrome, but I too need to do something else to relax. I used to play baseball, so I decided to coach the local kids' teams. After a while, the Chihuahuas started their own baseball team, and somehow, I became their coach. Doctors can't provide health just by giving medication. You need a sound mind and a sound body. Where have I heard that line before? What the fuck? Okay. I believe health can be maintained through sports as well. But our team needed more people. So I thought of asking Satoshi Kun to join. Being a bookworm, Satoshi Kun wasn't interested in playing sports. He wasn't sure how joining the baseball team would help his situation. I didn't need to go on and on about athletic medicine to explain why sports help people become healthy. I just wanted him to experience it himself, to realize how great it feels to play sports. I think he realized it gradually. He was reluctant until the very end, but he attended all of the team activities and games. As I saw Satoshi Kun slowly regain his liveliness, I realized my plan worked. However, if Satoshi Kun was under that much stress, then Satoko-chan, who lived in the same family climate, must have felt the same way. Unfortunately, I didn't think of her back then. So when Satoko-chan was carried into my clinic as a patient, I regretted doing nothing about her even while knowing the situation. As Satoshi-kun recovered under my guidance, Satoko-chan was left alone in her stressful environment. Also around that time, there was an incident bad enough to make Satoko-chan collapse. That was, of course, her parents' deaths. The day of the Watanagashi festival was a very uncomfortable time for the Hojo family, because although it was a village festival, it was also a day to celebrate victory over the dam construction project. It's understandable that they would plan a family trip around that time so they could leave the village. Satoko-chan's parents fell off the cliff. That's what you think. At the park they were visiting. It happened on such an unlucky day, because it happened on the day of Watanagashi. People said it was the curse of Oyashiro-sama. And people labeled the Hojo family as one that was cursed by Oyashiro-sama. The parents were given the cold shoulder by everyone in the village. So with their parents gone, Satoshi and Satoko should have been freed from that. But unfortunately, the accident happened on the day of Watanagashi. That's why the members of the Hojo family continued to be shunned. Satoko-chan was the only one who was at the site of the accident. Satoshi Kun didn't go on the trip because he had an event with the baseball team. Therefore, the police mainly interrogated her. The detective, Oishi, suspected an act of organized crime by the village, so with Satoko-chan as the only witness on site, he drilled her with questions. She was as stressed as Satoshi Kun, perhaps even more. So of course she couldn't take it. During the interrogation, she began to wheeze and gasp for air. The anguished look I saw on Satoko-chan's face, when she was carried into the clinic was very, very tragic. It broke my heart just to imagine what she had to go through. It broke my heart just to imagine what she had to go through.
監督、聡子は大丈夫ですか？
ええ、安心してください。一時的に混乱してしまっただけですよ。
あっても大丈夫ですか？
やっと薬でぐっすり眠れたところです。できれば起こさないであげたいところです。しばらくゆっくり休ませてあげましょう。様子を見て数日入院させてあげるのもいいかもしれません。大丈夫。私に任せてください。
ありがとうございます。
I know Satoshi Kun is a great big brother who truly cares about his sister. He empathizes deeply with her. In other words, Satoshi Kun's worries and stress were reflecting Satoko-chan herself. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but while Satoshi Kun was, of course, sad about his parents' deaths, he may, at the same time, have been a little relieved that they were gone. His sister wouldn't have to be driven into a corner anymore. Unlike Satoshi Kun, Satoko-chan didn't have the social skills to get along with her stepfather. So, putting her mother aside, I was certain that losing her father, the greatest cause of stress in her life, would bring a great change to her home environment. But I couldn't believe what happened next. The two were sent to live in an even worse environment with her aunt and uncle. Although at the time, I was rather optimistic, thinking this new environment would be better for the siblings. Wrong-o. That is actually not the case. Unfortunately. Alright. Let's go to the next one. The second sacrifice. The death of the construction site manager is required. The hospitalization of Satoko Hojo is required. Satoshi Kun is a good brother who takes great care of his sister. He went to visit Satoko-chan straight after school and kept encouraging her to get better every day. Without even hearing Satoshi Kun's stories, it's obvious to me that Satoko-chan never had a good relationship with her step-parents. She especially didn't get along with her stepfather. Satoko-chan even called a child abuse hotline once. Not only that, her parents ended up dying in an accident, so she just wasn't able to withstand all that damage. Satoko-chan is still very young, so everything must have been horrible for her to go through. Fortunately, she has a wonderful brother. Emotional wounds are hard to heal, but nothing heals those wounds better than love from family members. I'm sure that one day, Satoko-chan will be able to smile again. She's still in shock, but when she talks to Satoshi-kun, she smiles a little bit. Oishi from the police department keeps requesting to see her, but I think I need to protect her for just a little longer. While he's passionate about his job, I wish he'd be a touch more sensitive. If he reminds her of her parents' accident, her emotional wounds will start to open again. That's the one point I worry about with Satoko-chan. I heard someone knocking on the door. It was Takano-san. It doesn't look right, wearing a nurse's uniform like that. She's a licensed doctor, so she should wear a white coat and act like one. Maybe this is fun for her, but I think she might be insulting the real nurses. I didn't say anything, though.
入江先生、ちょっとよろしいですか?
No.
ああ、はい。
Damn.
それではサトシ君、私は失礼します。
あ、はい。
サトシ君、こんにちは。サトコちゃんと遊んであげててね。ずっと一人でいるから、きっと寂しいと思うの。ね？
そんなことございませんわよ。
ではサトシ君、よろしくお願いします。
I got up and let Satoshi-kun take over.
ところで、何かありましたか？
ここではなんですので、所長室で。
Takano-san smiled meaningfully. Usually, smiles bring happy feelings, but when it comes to Takano-san, that's rarely the case.
それは本当ですか？
ええ、簡易検査の結果、 レベル3以上と思われる高い発症レベルの可能性が指摘されました。彼女をさらに入院させ、より精度の高い検査を行う必要があります。結果待ちですが、私の見たところ、レベル4の可能性すらあり得るかと。
Takano-san's eyes sparkled in a weird way. There's a reason for that. For us, finding patients in the terminal stage is a valuable boon to our research. In fact, as a result of dissecting the murder suspect from last year, we've made great progress in our research. In other words, we finally managed to isolate the pathogen. We also discovered that when the host dies, the pathogen melts away within a few hours. Once that happens, it's undetectable. That's why we never found the pathogen when we performed autopsies. Our research made a lot of progress after that. After we found... So what? There's no after there, what the fuck am I saying? What we found in this past year has easily surpassed what the late Dr. Takano found in decades. We are now studying the nature, the effect, and the symptoms of the pathogen, as well as treatments and vaccines. In other words, a living specimen who's at the terminal stage is a necessity for our research. However, we rarely find a patient who's gone that far, who's reached L5. Hinamizawa syndrome once created huge numbers of L5 patients, but today, it doesn't have much potency. Because of that, we have to secure L5 patients, or patients who are close to reaching L5, as quickly as possible. Satoko-chan possibly qualifies to be that next sacrifice. Damn. Do you have to use the word sacrifice? Yikes. To keep this strange disease a secret, we can't let patients who may be at L5 go. We have to run more tests first. Then we'll figure out what to do next. In any case, Satoko seems so calm. Her behavior is nothing like the man from last year. That's because he's not going through one of his paranoia spells. Initial tests are in error sometimes. We'll have to wait for the results of more detailed tests to determine how serious her condition is.
わかりました。
経過観察のため入院ということにしましょう。スタッフの皆さんへの手配をお願いいたします。
That sounds like a formal answer, but if the results come back positive, that will be the green light for her dissection. I don't know Satoko-chan that well, but I've known her brother Satoshi Kun through the baseball team for a long time. How could I dissect the apple of Satoshi Kun's eyes? I can feel scary images flashing in my head for the first time.
ご安心を。
And of course she has to laugh.
万事すでに手配させておりますわ。
What a bitch. She smiled as if telling me that the dissection is already being prepared for. Is it just her who's smiling? Am I smiling like her too? When I dissected that man last year, I did feel guilt beforehand. But once I started, it was like I was in paradise. All the pieces of the puzzle that were left by the late Dr. Takano fell into place. And at the same time, they didn't. How exciting it was. Knowing that we are the first ones to take the first steps to solve a mystery, that is. I don't even know how to explain this feeling to those who have never experienced it before. There's no way to describe it with words. The only thing I can say is that even a year later, I still remember it vividly. So if the results show that Satoshi Kun's beloved sister is to be dissected, can I control myself? Can I stay calm? But that means I'm a failure of a human being. I know very well that the Hojo family was treated poorly by the villagers, and I know what Satoko-chan had to go through. But I know Satoshi Kun loves his sister, who is his one and only blood relative left. How can I dissect Satoko-chan using my research as an excuse? I didn't feel much guilt for the man from last year, but I feel unbearable guilt towards Satoko-chan. That means what I did last year was very sinful. I don't care if a stranger dies, but I don't want Satoko-chan to die. That's not right. All lives are equally precious. I tried to convince myself that he was a violent murderer. But maybe he only became that way because he was at the terminal stage. I don't know anything about him before he became deranged. Maybe he was a model citizen who was worthy of respect. Unfortunately, he became ill and ended up doing what he did. Maybe he was a victim himself. Just like my father. I know more about Hinamizawa syndrome than anybody. This disease makes people act in bizarre ways, without those people realizing it. So when the people at the terminal stage do such strange and violent things, one should be sympathetic. I already knew that back when I decided to go down this path, I should have remembered it sooner, but I only did just now. I finally realized what sinful research I'm working on. Satoko Hojo's detailed test results came back. The results say L5. She's at the terminal stage of the terminal stage. It's actually a surprising result. In last year's case, the patient was extremely deranged. According to Takano's records, he complained about itching coming from the lymph nodes all over his body, and wanted to claw at his throat, just as the late Dr. Takano mentioned. But Satoko-chan isn't displaying such symptoms. Even in the late Takano's data, throat clawing is said to be a characteristic symptom of the terminal stage patients. However, not all patients experience that symptom. Besides, emotional expression is very different in each person. Even if it's the same emotion, one patient may express it rather violently, and another may express it calmly. There's no way of knowing by just looking at a person. But Satoko-chan's detailed test results say that she's at the terminal stage of the terminal stage, L5. Could you stop doing that, please? God damn it. In other words, she may be feeling what the man from last year was feeling. It's just that she isn't expressing that feeling in the same way the other man was. Hinamizawa syndrome affects the frontal lobes of the brain. It stimulates the most primitive of the emotions, doubt, very strongly. As a result, terminal patients are trapped in delusions of paranoia and end up committing horrible crimes. Satoko-chan seems to show improvement when she's exchanging friendly words with Satoshi Kun. But there's a paranoia stirring inside her that may put her in a deranged stage, at any moment. I can't let her leave the clinic like this. However, if things go according to the manual, I will have to make a decision on her dissection. My decision will only be a formality. I can't actually refuse. Takano-san appears to be already working on the dissection schedule. That plan will then come to me. Would I feel the same way while dissecting Satoko-chan? Would I be able to experience that trance once again? No. The question is, can I fight the temptation? As I pretend to question myself, I'm letting Takano-san prepare things on her own. By doing so, am I passively agreeing to Satoko-chan's dissection? If possible, I want to save Satoko-chan. I don't want her to be a sacrifice for this research. I don't want to dissect her. Then, what about the man from last year? Do I only care about the lives of the people I know? If I don't dissect her, do I let her live and leave the clinic? Do I simply wait for her to become deranged and commit a horrible crime? You never know, she may already have. Gulp. And then she'll end up here. Just like the man from last year. And I'll end up dissecting her anyway. The man from last year was dissected alive and kept that way for several months. Wait, what? Wow, damn. With his skull left open, he wasn't allowed to die for several months. He was kept alive just for our cruel experiments. Damn! No, seriously, damn. Fuck. I don't want to do that to her. I don't know what to do. Even debating and agonizing over it is leading towards consent to her dissection by elimination. Damn, man. Few months? Fuck. Holy shit. Alright. That actually surprised the fuck out of me. I didn't know that was possible. That's actually really sickening. I mean, come on, right? Alright, next is on the same page. We're gonna go do this one. Where are you? This one right here. C103, Dose Experiment. Okay. Plans for Satoko-chan's dissection are moving right along. I don't want Satoshi Kun to be sad. I feel pity for Satoko-chan and her harsh circumstances. I'm still struggling with how much I have to sacrifice for the sake of research.
入江、
え？ああ、すみません。どうなさいましたか、リカさん。
僕の友達がずっと長く入院していますが、その子はhinamizawa症候群ではないのですか？
それを誰に聞きましたか？
僕がそう思っただけです。どうなのですか？入江、聡子はhinamizawa症候群ではないのですか？
Rika-chan is on our side. There's nothing I have to hide from her. Actually, I probably shouldn't keep anything from her.
はい。両親との不仲と、その両親の突然の死。彼女の心には、それは一度に受け入れるには、あまりに大きすぎる出来事でした。それが引き金になったのかもしれません。
検査の結果は？
レベル5です。上辺は非常に安定して見えますが、情緒は非常に不安定です。先日からサトシ君の見舞いも謝絶にしました。
サトシに聞きましたです。サトコの心の傷がなかなか癒えないと気にしていましたです。入江、サトコはどうなるのですか？
Satoko-chan is Rika-chan's best friend. How can I tell her that we're planning to dissect Satoko-chan? However, even if I don't say anything, she already knows that Satoko-chan's situation is extremely poor.
入江は僕の体を調べてたくさんのことが分かったのではないですか？
ええ、それはもちろんです。症状を抑える効果が期待される試薬も現在いろいろと試しているところです。
それを 聡子に与えることはできませんのですか？
一度は考えました。しかし、かなり危険です。体力や精神力に余裕がある検体に試し、少しずつデータを集めていこうという段階です。聡子ちゃんのような、もう後がない人間に試せるような代物ではありません。
では入江、その薬を試さないなら聡子はどうなってしまうのですか？
She's gotta get dissected. She spoke as if aware of our plans for Satoko-chan. No, she must actually know. I've told her about most of my research. She's more mature than she looks, so it'll be easy for her to figure it out.
僕は聡子が 1% でも助かる可能性があるならそれにかけるべきだと思いますです。
非常に危険な賭けです。最悪の場合、彼女は即座に末期発症し、錯乱するか、さもなければ人としての心を失い、一生を焦点の合わない目で壁を見て過ごす体になってしまうかもしれない。どちらも、それはあまりに過酷な運命です。
全身麻酔で痛みを感じさせずに眠ったままを殺す方がずっといいというの。
There it is again. Ah.
入江、よく高野が言う通り、医学に 100% はない。でも、このまま放置すれば、聡子を待ち受ける運命は 100% の絶対の死しかない。ならば、どちらにかけるかは明白なはず。
そうですね。その通りです。
But I know too well. C103, the medicine that's being tested, may not even be something that can be used. It may not even have a 1% chance of success. Worse, I can't even imagine what kind of tragic end she'd meet if her body rejects the medicine. That's why I'm tempted to believe it would be far more merciful to feed her favorite food, let her gently fall asleep, and after that, dissect her while she dreams. I don't want to admit it, but Takano-sen is right. I'm being indecisive and showing a lack of resolve. How effective could the medicine made by someone like that really be? So, because it was medicine I created myself, I couldn't even believe there might be a 0.1% chance of success.
僕は
Nah.
入江の作った薬なら信用できると思いますです。
Why do you have to go back to your cute voice? God damn it. She spoke as if she read my mind. How dare you? Surprised, I raised my head up to look at her, and found her giving me a reassuring look I never would have imagined someone her age capable of.
入江は人の命を左右するとても辛い仕事に耐えている。本来、人の生き死になど人間がどうにかしようというのがおこがましいこと。その重圧は背負った者にしかわからない。
Her voice hasn't changed, but I feel like Rika-chan is admonishing me. Almost as if she knows what it's like to be responsible for human lives.
その重さは罪の意識と後悔の重さを加えて決められる。だから入江はまだまだ危険な薬を聡子に試せない。そうでしょう。
Takano said the same thing when she criticized me earlier. I'm being criticized again.
でも、だからあなたになら聡子を託せると思う。
え？
人の命はとても重い。その重みに耐えかねるのは、あなたが人の命を大切にしたい心があるからこそよ。そんな心がなくして、どうして人を病気から救えるというの？高野みたいに、人をモルモットとしか思ってない奴の治療薬なんか、試せると思う？
うん。Nervous laugh. I shouldn't have laughed, but I couldn't help it. I felt like I should laugh.
高野とあなたが、それぞれに薬を差し出したなら、私は、入江の薬の方が治るように思う。
Ah. Yeah, that's right. I would rather take Erie's than Takano's, definitely. I think Takano's wouldn't even be medicine. It would only worsen the fucking symptoms. Wink.
だって、薬は人の心から生み出されるんだもの。
Oh, damn, man. Alright.
自分の身から滴り落ちる雫で、人を救いたいという気持ちが、人の病を癒してくれる。
Hell yeah.
おっしゃる通りです。医者が薬のことで諭されるとは。
私は自分の体を他でもない聡子のために差し出した。私の体から注射針で抜き出したものは、すべて私から聡子に捧げる薬の雫。その雫から命の本当の重さを知り、日々後悔と自責を忘れないあなたが何かを抽出してくれたなら、それが聡子に効かないわけがない。
Do shrine maidens take confessions? If they do, she's doing a great job of being a shrine maiden at this age.
これは賭けになります。聡子ちゃんが果たして受け入れてくれるかどうか。
聡子に伝える必要はありません。聡子にとってHinamizawa症候群を知ることは、心の深い傷をもう一度えぐることにしかならないのだから。
What did she mean by those words? When I realized it later, I was surprised by how thoughtful and perceptive she was.
解剖計画を中止させましょう。北条聡子に対する C103 投与実験に変更します。せめて 1% でもうまくいく確率が上がるように努力します。
大丈夫ですよ。入江、絶対にうまくいきますです。
そんな楽観してはいけません。
大丈夫なのです。もう決まってることなのですから。これはフルデ神社の巫女様の心強いお告げです。ファイトオンなのですよ。
Damn. That was nice. That was nice. I like that. Alright, but next up, we got H170. I don't remember if we've ever came across that before. But we'll see. We shall see. The discontinuation of Satoko Hojo's dissection plan is required. Okay. C103's implementation on Satoko is going well so far. It wouldn't make any difference to me if the experiment failed. However, Erie's extraordinary focus and attention to the experiment has avoided Satoko Hojo hallucinating or turning into a vegetable during the experiment. And surprisingly, we see prospects of her returning to normal life, despite reaching L5. C103 still has many issues, but this experiment proved that even a person who has reached L5 can be cured. I didn't believe in it at first, but I guess I have to acknowledge Erie's hard work. Only Erie could have done this. He was screwing up a lot, I know. He was tormented by naive humanism and didn't want to make mistakes, and that is why he felt obligated to cure Satoko Hojo. The reason why I dislike Erie isn't because of his achievements or abilities, but because of that weakness. But this time, I had to praise him for it.
入江所長のレポートを拝見しましたわ。脱帽と言わざるを得ません。
いえ、私の研究者としての職務を果たしたに過ぎません。その結果、医者としての職務も果たせたなら、私にとってはそれに勝ることはありません。
今やさとこちゃんは私たちにとって最も重要な検体になったと言っても過言ではないでしょう。何しろレベル5に至りながら生還した初めての人間なのですから。
その通りです。彼女を社会生活に復帰させ、経過を見ながら長期観察に切り替えていきます。彼女には毎週日曜日にこちらに来てもらって検査を受けてもらえるよう話をするつもりです。
しかし C103 を日に3回も注射する義務と毎週日曜日に検査に訪れる義務を彼女にどう説明されるおつもりで？彼女には何の病気の自覚もないのに。
そこは今うまく納得してもらえる話を考えています。今考えているのは私の研究論文に協力してもらうというものです。栄養剤の注射を毎日してもらい、毎週日曜日にその効果を検査する。その代わりに研究協力費としていくらかを支払うという感じです。
I guess Erie is determined to cure Satoko Hojo no matter what. He seems determined to keep her off the dissection table. He and I are in different positions, but I don't have any complaints about his naive ideals, so long as they translate directly into passion for our research. If his plans can be put into effect and produce a different result than the dissection would, then they'll still be useful to the overall understanding of the Hinamizawa syndrome. I have nothing against Satoko Hojo. It's only that I see her as a research specimen. Rude. If she can be useful in that capacity without being dissected, that's perfectly fine with me.
日に3回もの注射となれば、これは本人だけでなく、保護者の方の同意も不可欠です。確か、ご両親が亡くなってからは、おじ夫婦に親権が移っていましたね。そちらに一度相談に伺おうと思います。メイへの怪しげな研究協力を承諾してもらえればいいのですが。
大丈夫ですわよ。そのための研究協力費ですもの。月に10万か20万も振り込んでやれば大喜びしますわ。
それだけの予算はありますか？
もちろん、二郎さんを納得させる資料を作りさえすれば。
わかりました。それは私が作ります。あと、聡子ちゃんに心労をかけないよう指導しておく必要もあります。レベル5をぶり返すことになったら大変ですからね。噂では、おじ夫婦はとても現金な方だとか。金銭で丸め込むのは可能かもしれません。それらの指導も私の方で きっちり行うつもりです。
I've heard Satoko-chan isn't getting along with her aunt and uncle. I never thought that'd affect us in any way. But now, Eri has to deal with them. Maybe he's developed some kind of sense of responsibility or duty as her guardian. I don't really care. The more responsible he feels, the more progress our research makes. That'll be a plus for me.
それはそうと、H17 番台についてのレポートを拝見しました。
Yes?
ええ。入江所長の成果に比べれば足元にも及びませんが、一応の研究成果を出せましたわ。
本当に皮肉ですね。
Hmm.
彼女を錯乱から救う治療薬を作っていた研究所で、その傍らでは彼女を直ちに錯乱させる危険な薬が作られていたのですから。
That's right. Okay, I remember this drug now. Okay. Eri wasn't involved in that H170 research. That was my work. In fact, even if I asked him, he wouldn't have agreed to be involved. They're like fucking polar opposites. What the fuck? Damn, he's working on a cure, she's working on something that could fucking make anyone succumb to the fucking syndrome. Like, what the fuck? This dangerous regiment was developed during the process of uncovering the mechanisms behind how pathogens controlling Satoko Hojo's brain could induce derangement or paranoia in host. To put it bluntly, injecting H170 into a patient with Hinamizawa syndrome forced them to express terminal symptoms. It threw the brain into a stimulated state of agitation, intentionally forcing the pathogen to grow unstable. If we continue to research this, it will be possible to drive anyone with Hinamizawa syndrome violently insane at any time. Studying the mechanism behind that will help to solve this syndrome's mysteries. So this study on H170 will be extremely important for future research. Also, this medicine has military applications, as the client requested. At this point, there's absolutely no use for it. But once our research progresses a bit further, this H170 could be spread at the right moment to cause a certain type of reaction. Compared to a killer virus, it seems like a useless pathogen, but there's no way to detect it in a dead body, and it makes it look as though the person just went insane spontaneously, so it must have some useful applications. The Marco Polo Bridge incident threatened to end research on Hinamizawa syndrome before. A historically important incident like that couldn't have been created by a killer virus. But it's possible that Hinamizawa syndrome, the elders of the Alphabet Project, the sponsor of our research, can think whatever they want about that. I don't care how they use what I've learned. My purpose is to solve the mysteries of Hinamizawa syndrome, and to make people realize how important this research is. Also, to make people acknowledge my grandfather's accomplishments and achievements. Any military applications were just byproducts of the process that I didn't care about.
クライアントにとっては高野さんの成果の方が喜ばれるでしょう。来期の予算取りが楽になるかもしれませんね。
情熱だけでは研究は続けられませんものね。先立つものがなければ。
I mean, true.
これだけの潤沢な資金を提供してくださるスポンサーさんには頭が上がりません。
But you can't exactly bite the hand that feeds you. So don't go asking too much.
これだけのお金が公費から出ているのですから。
日本という国は私たちが想像しているよりずっと豊かなのかもしれませんね。
Well, yeah, no shit, their economy is way better than ours. The truth hurts, don't it?
公費は公費でも表に出せない黒い公費でしょうけれどね。
Eri has no idea what I had to go through to get that money. Anyway, our research is going extremely well. We don't know what we'll find out about Hinamizawa syndrome, but I'm sure every mystery will eventually be solved. I can hardly wait. What the syndrome indicates is that humans are simply empty containers. Damn, harsh. And what we believe to be our will is simply the actions of parasites that live in our brains. I have to disagree. There's no parasite in my brain, motherfucker. If that mystery was solved, it would have a greater impact than anything else in history. That is a truth which nobody wants to believe. This is an achievement my grandfather predicted back during his time. Ah, I know now. I know the reason why my grandfather was so fascinated by his work. You sick fuck. Oh, shit. Alright. So, how long have I been going for now? Alright. Okay. And now we continue with an accident at the Shirakawa Park on page 2. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Satoko-chan's dissection plan has been scrubbed, and we are getting ready to administer an almost totally untested medicine, C103. This experimental medicine suppresses the production of a certain type of hormone and, in doing so, it will stop the transmission of the syndrome triggering Satoko-chan's condition. The mechanism of Hinamizawa syndrome is as follows. The pathogen takes over the frontal lobe of the patient's brain, and then induces increased responsiveness of paranoia. As a result, a patient voluntarily carries out excessively defensive behaviors to a problematic extent. If this induction can be cut off, then it will be possible to save terminal patients from becoming deranged. But it only cuts off an induction, so it's not really a cure. Ironically, the brain is an organ that learns. Once the brain has learned to be excessively paranoid due to the Hinamizawa syndrome, even after the pathogen is eliminated, the brain doesn't simply unlearn that paranoia. In short, even if the pathogen doesn't induce derangement, the patient will be directed to such emotions of their own volition. Thus, it is impossible, to completely escape the nearly deranged L5 state. The proverb, "A burnt child dreads the fire," is a good example of this. Even after the burn on your tongue heals, the fear of being burned again by food remains. When it ends up being a good thing, we call it learning a lesson, and we call it trauma when it doesn't. That's actually a good example. We predict Satoko-chan's treatment will take a significantly long time, requiring both medication, such as administering psychotropics, and mental care, like counseling. We have to slowly unravel her mind's solidified paranoia, while also suppressing the syndrome's induction of derangement. Whew, this is quite a read, huh? This is the treatment plan for terminal patients like Satoko-chan. However, as we are going to stimulate the parts of her brain that affect her emotions while they are being stimulated by the pathogen at the same time, it's possible there could be unexpected side effects. Both her mental and physical strength hold the key to our success. We were going to begin the experiment once she regains her emotional stability and physical strength, but... Oh, something happens, huh? Someone who threatens to disturb her emotional stability has been coming here every day. Oishi, the sly old detective from the Okonomiya Police Department. Oishi-san, what you doing? He thinks everything, from the dam protests to the dismemberment murder of the construction manager, is an organized effort secretly conducted by the three families of the village. He even thinks the accident involving Satoko-chan's parents wasn't an accident. That's why he keeps coming back, so he can talk to Satoko-chan. Excuse me. Coming back to this after a while. My brain's on Umineko. That's why I can't exactly read perfectly right now. God damn it. I need to get into the mentality of Higurashi. Ooh, okay, there we go. Excuse me, Eri, what?
彼女は両親を亡くしたショックで打ちのめされているんですよ。それを汲み取ることはできませんか？
いやいや、本当にちょっとだけお話が聞ければいいんです。そうお時間を取らせるつもりはないんですがね。
Right.
令状が必要だってんなら申請しないことはありませんが、そうなるとかなり本格的なことになってしまいますよ。
Would you be able to get a warrant? That is the question.
私も北条さんの容体を気遣っているからこそ、令状を取るなんて無粋を避けているんじゃありませんか。
令状を取ってまで一体何を里子ちゃんに聞こうとしているのか、私にはさっぱりわかりません。
実はですね、今回の転落、事故ではなく、事件の可能性もありまして。
北条夫妻がダム戦争以来、村中から嫌われているという話は知っています。ですが、わざわざ旅行先まで追いかけて突き落とすというのは、少々突飛すぎはしませんか。
まあ事故でもいいんですがね。ならばどうしてもよくわからない嘘があるんです。どうして嘘が必要なのかって考えるとですね。
What do you mean, why lie?
こりゃ事故ってことはありえないんじゃないかなって思うんです。
嘘とは何のことですか？
Asking the real questions here. You and me, Eri. Yeah.
いえね、北条聡子さんの言う事故当時は車で眠っていたっていう話、ちょいと話がおかしいんじゃないかなってそう思うんです。
Satoko-chan claims she was asleep in the back seat when the accident took place. So she didn't get out of the car at the viewing platform. When she woke up, she didn't see her parents. Then she found out they had fallen off the cliff.
それのどこに嘘があると言うんです？まさか里子ちゃんが実は眠っていなくて両親と一緒に展望台へ行ったと、そういう意味ですか？
Give him a little push. Give a little nudgy wudgy, you know what I'm saying? No? Okay.
それはどういう意味ですか？
そうです。北条聡子さんは眠ってなんかいなかった。
She was faking it.
両親と一緒に車を降りて展望台へ行ったんです。
I'm suddenly hit with a terrible possibility. If what Oshi says is true, and Satoko-chan is saying she didn't go to the viewing platform even though she actually did, it's terrible to even imagine.
何を根拠にそうおっしゃっているのかわかりません。それに、なぜ嘘をつく必要がさとこちゃんにあるんですか？
それなんですよ。なぜ北条さと子さんは嘘をつかなければならないのか。それの本当のところを教えていただけないと、こいつはただの転落事故ってことでは済ませられないんです。
どうしてさとこちゃんが嘘をついているとお思いなんです？
今回の事故は所轄が違いますので、白川署さんが関係者から事情聴取をしているんですがね、その調書を読んでみるとどうにも引っかかるところがある。
引っかかるところとは何ですか？
北条さと子さんの主張によるならば、彼女は両親に展望台へ行こうと誘われたが、眠たかったのでそれを断り車を降りなかったという。そして彼女はそのまま熟睡してしまい、相当の時間が経ってから目を覚ました。そしていつまでも戻ってこない両親に不安感を募らせ泣き出した。その声を聞いて巡回中の公園作業員が話しかけて事故が発覚したことになっています。この時ですね、公園作業員の証言では、両親が崖下に転落したと彼女が先に言ったというんですよ。ところがこの時、北条夫妻が止めた車の位置からは問題の事故現場ははっきりと見えたわけじゃないはずなんです。いや、注意深く見れば柵が破損していたのを気づけたかもしれない。でもですよ、目が覚めたら両親がいないのを知って真っ先に崖下へ転落したというのは尋常ではないと思うんです。普通は両親が自分を置いてどこかに散歩に行ってしまい戻ってこないというはずなんです。転落する直接の現場を見てもいないのに、両親が転落したと第三者にいきなり言うのがね、私はどうしても腑に落ちないんですな。このあたり、どうして彼女は両親が転落したと確信したのか、その経緯を教えてもらいたいと思いまして通い詰めているところだったんですよ。入院前に私も何度かお尋ねはしているんですが、記憶にない。当時は混乱していたと、まるでどこかの政治家みたいな答弁でしたね。
Hitting home. Great.
私はじっくり話をしてみる価値があるかなって思っていたんですよ。
That terrifying possibility has turned to certainty in my head. I'd assumed that her parents' accident triggered her terminal symptoms. But no. Satoko-chan had already gone terminal, and just before the accident her heart was filled with paranoia that drove her mad. She was under a lot of stress because of her bad relationship with her stepfather. She was also being scolded by her mother for not being able to get along with him. If that made her paranoid, made her think her parents considered her to be a bother and were going to kill her. When they went to the viewing platform, she must have thought they were going to push her off the cliff. Then a tragedy took place, and she pushed her parents off instead, although she considered it to have been self-defense. I'm certain of that, because I know Hinamizawa syndrome better than anybody. This accident isn't an accident. Wait, that was right? Yeah, okay. At first, oh my god, my head read that as something a little different. Incident, not accident, but it's actually an accident, not an incident. Anyway, what? It isn't a crime either, like Oishi is thinking. Oh, it's not. It is simply a tragedy. When I talked to Satoshi Kun about the family, I was even more convinced. He told me even though Satoko-chan refused to open up to her stepfather, he had tried to communicate with her. It's true their relationship didn't go well in the beginning. Satoko-chan caused trouble repeatedly and even called the city's child abuse hotline. At that point, they received guidance from the Child Consultation Center, and they pointed out that the problem lay in lack of communication between daughter and stepfather. So the stepfather took a parenting course under the social worker's guidance, and awkward though it was, he made efforts to communicate with her. Satoshi Kun noticed his efforts, so he tried to talk to Satoko-chan about it. But Satoko-chan didn't notice them at all. The excessive stress she was under triggered terminal symptoms, and she couldn't understand her stepfather's remorse. On the contrary, her stepfather's change created even more mistrust within her. Damn. As a result, they went to enjoy the beautiful view of the Shirakawa Nature Park as a family and to share in that joy. Yet that humble, ordinary family's wish couldn't even get through to Satoko-chan. What a tragic misunderstanding. Satoko-chan stayed in the car telling her parents that she wanted to sleep, but then she got out and snuck up behind them. I bet he heard her footsteps. He pretended not to notice her, thinking that she was doing that to surprise him. It's sad just thinking about what must have ran through his mind. While he thought he had finally gotten through to her, she was actually approaching him with the intent to kill. But that's not Satoko-chan's true nature. It's the disease. Satoko-chan isn't the only one who is to be pitied. Her parents are its victims, too. And now, Oishi thinks she's a criminal. Judgment and punishment are required for crimes with malicious intent. But what she really needs is understanding and sympathy. And no one has that understanding except for me, because I know about Hinamizawa syndrome. I am the director of the Erie Institute, but I've never behaved as such or exercised that authority. But I'm going to do so for the first time since taking the position. I'm not doing it as the head of the Erie Institute, the secret research organization. I'm doing it as a doctor, so I can protect Satoko-chan.
白川自然公園の聡子ちゃんの両親の転落事故ですが、この件、事故で決着するように、山犬のおこのぎさんにお願いしてもらうことはできますか？
ええ、そんなことお安いご用ですわよ。山犬はそういうものの隠蔽や捏造に最も特化した部隊ですもの。
Perfect.
確かに、早くあの転落事故が事故ということに決着しないと、警察がうちの実験体に近づいて邪魔ですものね。
そういうことです。特に大石さんがこの件から早く引き上げるようよろしくお願いします。試薬投与実験のデリケートな時期です。不要な振動をかけるのは適当ではありませんので。
まったくですわね。山犬にそのように伝えますわ。警察にもすでにコネクションがあるとのことなので、圧力をかけるよう指示しましょう。
That would actually not surprise me.
近日中に白川転落事故は事故として確定することになると思いますわ。
With that, it was declared an accident. If only it really was one, it would have eased Satoko-chan's soul. Getting rid of the pathogen can't heal that wounded soul, nor can it erase the tragedy that had already taken place. All I can do is my best, so the day she regains her smile comes sooner. Amen to that. Okay. Next up is going to be on the same page. Page 2. Alright. Cuckoo. Distrust of the mother of a queen. Where are you? Right there. Ah. Alright. Let's do it. Rika has developed a high fever. A very high fever. It's not flu season, nor a season for any type of contagious disease. I could only think of the suspicious experiments Rika has gone through. Maybe the fever is being caused by those. Her growth is rather slow compared to other children her age. Receiving mysterious shots and going through experiments every week, I'm sure her body is exhausted. I've asked the staff to go easy on her, but Rika herself is fearless and is willing to go through anything. My husband, who should be admonishing her for that, truly believes their story, that it's crucial to the lives of over 2,000 villagers, and takes our own daughter to that clinic every week. I'm the only one who's sincerely worried about her health. That's why I want to ask Dr. Erie to be a little more considerate towards Rika. Anyway, I have to go talk to them about taking responsibility for this. Right after I called, a staff member came to pick Rika up to admit her to the clinic. As her guardian, I came with them.
落ち着いてください、お母さん。必ず救いますから、もうしばらくお待ちになってください。
これが落ち着けるかというんです。急にこんな高熱が出るなんておかしいじゃないですか。これも先週にやったというなんとかという怪しげな実験の影響じゃないんですか。リカはね、年相応の小さな女の子なんですよ。リカは友達思いだから病気にかかった友達のためにと。
分かっております。それに私たちの研究が間違ってもリカさんに悪い影響を及ぼすようなことはありえませんし、万一にもそのようなことが起こらないよう常に注意をしています。
だったらこのリカの熱は一体どういうことなんですか。
おそらくは季節の変わり目ですので。
風邪なわけないでしょ。あなたたちが妙な薬を注射したからに決まっています。
Dr. Erie only told me to calm down and refused to accept responsibility. My husband told me this is all for the sake of the village, and that's why I've held back my doubts until now. But I'm at my limit. Their existence has been suspicious from the very beginning. They are conducting the research in secret, using a privacy policy as an excuse. That was shady enough on its own. Yeah, I would think it's shady too. It's just impossible. In fact, I called the Ministry of Health and was told that wasn't true at all. Even after I told them I'm Rika Furude's mother. The clinic even came up with stupid excuses, saying normal workers often don't know of a special institute like theirs. That doesn't make sense at all. It's much, much too suspicious. Also, there are people who don't appear to be researchers working on the institute. They look like security guards, but they seem so different from normal guards at a normal hospital. In fact, one time I accidentally saw that they were armed with guns.
それはですね。
あの人たちは警察なんですか。とてもそうには見えません。だいたいあなた方は何者なんですか。
Well, I would like to tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. Gulp.
厚生省の人間だなんて私は今さら信じませんよ。
Dr. Erie seems taken aback by my intensity. Oh, yeah, that's right. Step back. I'm a mother who cares about her child. And can't even answer properly. They're still hiding a lot more from us. That tells me the research they're working on with Rika isn't anything proper.
とにかく
Oof.
私はリカの保護者です。リカはまだまだ子供です。あの子が何をどう返事しようとも、今後は一切研究を手伝わせるつもりはありません。
あらあら、リカちゃんのお母さんではありませんの。どうもこんにちは。
Hello.
あら、どうかなさいまして。
いえ、お母さんがリカさんをこれ以上研究に関わらせたくないとおっしゃってまして。
それはどうしてですか？
うちの子はあなたたちの実験動物ではないからです。
Damn, really? Huh. Could have thunk she was. Okay. Well, then take her away. Oh, shit.
そう扱ったことなどございませんわよ。それは大きな誤解ですわ。
That tone of voice says majorly otherwise. That is the tone of voice that you would roll your eyes with 1,000 times. Oh boy. I'm a little startled. Dr. Erie is a weak person who backs down under pressure. Takano-san is different. I'm yelling at her, but she's not afraid at all. On the contrary, she's glaring daggers and looks as if she's about to jump on me. She's gonna pounce on ya! Pounce!
リカちゃんの熱は風によるものですわ。私たちのせいだなんてとんでもない。私たちは安全や衛生には国立研究所クラスの注意を払ってます。失礼ですが、アルコール消毒もしない手でリカちゃんの手を引いて歩いているあなたより衛生的なくらいですわよ。
Damn. Basically a slap in the face. I mean, yeah.
そんなことは聞いていません。とにかくリカはあなたたちのおもちゃじゃないんです。リカはもう二度とここへは連れてきません。
あなたの一存で決められては困りますわね。
Oh shit, you're telling a mother what to do with her child? Uh-uh.
ご協力をいただくことについて、ご両親には契約書にサインをしてもらっているはずではございませんの。
She about to bring up a fine print. That's why you always gotta read the fine print, fellas. Alright? Boys and gals, read the fine print. I don't care if it takes you 5 hours or 10 hours. Read the motherfucking fine print. Alright? That's right. Get a magnifying glass for that small ass text. Mm-hmm.
研究に協力していただく見返りに、決して少なくない額を毎月お口座に振り込ませていただいているはずですわ。
Yeah, that does not help your case.
そんなお金、私は知りませんよ。
Oh, well then ask the husband. Yay.
聞いたこともないです。
Well, I guess your fault is with the husband. Well, Rika receiving money for participating in their research really is news to me. Knowing my husband's character, he wouldn't have used it as spending money behind my back. Or would he? Anyway. I bet he thought of it as a free service for the villagers and completely forgot about the money being deposited into our account. There we go. Slowly read it, not go fast. There haven't been any strange deposits in the regular account, so it may be in our savings. Anyway, I don't care about that.
契約を保護にされる場合には、それまでの振込額をすべて返還していただくことになっているのはご存知ですわね。
Well, if no one actually did touch it and it's all in the savings, then yeah, that's possible.
他にも一方的な保護についてそちらに非がある場合。
Uh-oh.
高野さん。
Who?
落ち着いてください。お母さんもどうか。Hinamizawa症候群は以前にもご説明させていただきましたように、これからも村人たちが安心して生活していくために 絶対に治療していかなくてはならないものなのです。そのためにはどうしてもリカさんのご協力が必要なのです。
治療のためって、じゃあその治療薬はいつになったら出来上がるんですか？だいたいおかしいじゃないですか。リカの友達のさとこちゃんのためということでしたけど、そのさとこちゃんはもう退院して元気に生活しているというじゃありませんか。
And why do you think that is? I mean, come on, really? If they're using the help of Rika to develop not a cure, but I don't know what the fuck, I'm drawing a blank on this word for some reason. But the medicine to help Satoko-chan at least a little bit for now, to lessen her symptoms and whatnot, then it's actually helping because it's closely and progressively, developing such a future cure can, blossom in the fucking mess that's happening right now. Okay. I actually am blanking on words right now. Holy fuck. Words. What are they anyway? Who needs words? Am I right, fellas? Up top. I'll clap myself. Okay. I'm gonna die alone.
確か先々週にうちの人が話を聞いた時にも、もう治療のめどは立ったというようなお話をされていたはずですわよね。
目処はついたというような話はしたと思います。
Well.
ですが、ひなみざわ症候群の全貌を解明するためには、
全貌の解明なんか最初の話で聞いていません。リカが協力するのは村人の病気を治療するためのはずです。ならもう十分ではありませんの。皆さんがリカに怪しげな研究やら検査やらをしているのはあなた方の興味本位であって、治療とは何の関係もないんじゃありませんの？
Yeah, right now they're just experimenting on her for no fucking reason except to poke her full of holes little by little until she's actually Swiss cheese. Yes, that's the reason why they're still experimenting on her. Just for that. To make a human Swiss cheese. Are you fucking proud of yourself, you fucking bitch? I've been drinking the Kool-Aid.
そんなことはありません。とにかくリカさんの風邪の件は誤解なんです。もしどうしてもご不審ということでしたら、
とにかく
Oh my god.
もうお金の話もあるみたいなので、私も帰って夫と相談しますから。
Yes, you do that.
それでは失礼します。
He's gonna get a firm slapping once I get home. They were just too shady from the very start. Because of their exaggerated story, Rika and my husband took their side, but it won't work on me. Anyhow, I must settle things with them right away, because Rika isn't their toy. I especially don't trust that woman called Takano. Dr. Erie seems to me like he's still a doctor, but she doesn't. How can I describe her? I guess I can say the glow in her eyes is just unpleasant. She only sees Rika as a guinea pig. I can feel the cruelty emitting from her. Neither my husband nor Rika have noticed that. I must protect her. As a mother, I must protect Rika.
高野さんらしくもない。
I thought it was ending right there. What the fuck? The fake. Oh my god, why? Anyway, what?
あそこで喧嘩を買ってしまったら余計に話がこじれてしまうではありませんか。あなたらしくもないですよ。
そうですわね。
Yeah, what got you working up there, girl?
ごめんなさい。取り乱してしまって。
Yeah, losing your cool. Got it. Back off my territory, bitch. That's what it's all about. Did something happen to put her in a bad mood? Erie wondered. The heated conversation she just had didn't involve the Takano he knew. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now that's the real ending, not the fake one I just received earlier. Okay. That one was a little bit longer because I rambled on, unfortunately. But we're good. Right. Anywho, what's next? Page 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't know what that describes that scene as, but we're gonna find out. Rika Furude's high fever is required. Okay, got it. Fevers. It's fun, so much fun. I love fevers. Not. Takano-san always comes along with me whenever I go to take pictures on a stroll. Well, goody for ya. She might have discovered the joy of cameras, and I'm happy to gain a friend who shares the same hobby. However, there's actually something she, much more interested in. That would be the history of Hinamizawa. She frequently visited libraries and local archives to read through various documents and books. And when it comes to Hinamizawa, she's gained quite extensive knowledge of the local history. When she's in a good mood, she tells me about things like how Hinamizawa used to be called Onigafuchi Village, and how the villagers there used to perform various cruel ceremonies based on, around the worship of Oyashiro-sama. It seemed she loved the tales of violence, and that actually gave her a mysterious charm. That's because she's a fucking psychopath! Run! Run for the hill, boy! She's not good news. Not good at all. On the other hand, I don't know why I went on there, but okay. I don't do well with grotesque things, so I can hardly say anything in response. The stories of cruel ceremonies that she gets excited about, woohoo! I don't really get them all that well. However, with the way her eyes light up when she talks about them, I don't mind spending time with her even if I have to hear about cruel things.
高野さんはそういうのを調べるのが好きだね。
あら、だって楽しいわよ。封印された過去の暗黒史を紐解くなんて、とてもワクワクすることだとは思わない？
I mean, sure, she's into that stuff, that means she's a freak. But hey, you know what they say about freaks. They're also freaks in bed. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Up top. Still nobody? Damn, fine, I'll clap myself. Fuck. Damn. Anyway. Okay, I have been drinking the Kool-Aid, I'm sorry. Takano-san smiled in a way that almost made it sound like a dark past is always something fun. But of course it isn't. The dark history of Hinamizawa that she loves is something cruel and atrocious, like the witch hunts in the Middle Ages.
それに、Hinamizawa症候群を調べる上でも、とても役立つことなのよ。何も顕微鏡を覗くことだけが調べることになるとは限らない。この寄生虫と長い時間を過ごしてきたこの村の伝承の方がよっぽど重要な何かを教えてくれることもあるんだから。
それもそうだね。うん。高野さんは本当に研究熱心だよな。
だって研究こそ私のライフワークだもの。未知の神秘に踏み込み、誰も知らなかった秘密を暴くことってとっても楽しいことだとは思わない？知的好奇心をうずうずさせてくれる。それは多分考えることに悦を感じることができる人間だけに許された最高の娯楽だと思うの。この研究の第一人者だった高野先生もHinamizawa症候群の研究に生涯を捧げるだけの何かを見出し、その魅力に取りつかれていたに違いないでしょうね。多分私だけがそんな高野先生の気持ちを理解してると思うの。研究者でない二郎さんには難しいかしら。
She always seems so enthusiastic every time she talks about the late Dr. Takano, an independent researcher who was the first person to discover the existence of the syndrome. There has to be something more there than just her admiration as a researcher. Come to think of it, Dr. Takano's full name was Hifumi Takano. Takano-san's full name is Mio Takano. Not only are their last names pronounced the same, but their first names follow a similar pattern. They must be connected somehow. I don't know anything about Takano-san's personal history, but there's a good chance that her name is an alias. So it's very possible she chose a name to reflect the researcher she admires.
なるほど。ひょっとして高野さんはだからミオという名前なのかい？いや、高野さんが尊敬しているその先生の名前が確か高野ひふみ。そして高野さんの名前がミオ。123の後を引き継いで34。彼が成し遂げられなかった研究を引き継いだからそういう名前なのかなって思ってね。
それを誰かに聞いたの？
いや今僕が適当に考えただけなんだよ。別に誰かが言ってたわけじゃ。
正解よ。鈍い二郎さんにしてはよくわかったわね。
Ouch.
いや、高野さんがその高野先生をとても尊敬しているのは知ってたし、まるで自分が実の娘か孫で研究の正当な後継者だというような感じで言っていることがあったからね。なんとなくそんな気がしただけなんだよ。作家のペンネームだってほら、尊敬する作家のオマージュで名前を付けることもあるし。なら高野美代って名前もペンネームみたいなものなのかなって思って。
そんなことはないわよ。高野美代は本名よ。もっとも高野の高は鳥の高じゃなくて高い低いの高が正しいけれど。
じゃあ高野先生とは本当は同じ名字なのかい？そりゃますますびっくりだね。しかも美代が本名とは。高野ひふみの研究を高野美代が継ぐ。なんだか運命的偶然を感じるね。
二郎さんたら運命的だなんて大げさな。別に運命でも何でもないのよ。
I don't know why that's surprising, but okay. This is news to me. I heard Takano-san discovered documents about the Hinamizawa syndrome left by Dr. Takano after his death, and decided to continue his research. I've never heard of them being related before.
祖父の研究を引き継ぐために予算をというと、まるで身内びいきのために予算を引っ張ろうとしているように見えて、印象が良くないというふうに助言をしてくれる人がいたので、高の一文字を変えたからなの。だから人前で高野先生が私の祖父だと話したのは、小泉のおじいちゃんを除いたら二郎さんを含めて他にいるかどうかという話よ。
そうだったのかい。なるほどね。君がひなみ沢症候群の研究に入江所長も驚くほどの情熱を見せる理由がちょっとだけ分かったよ。
I understand very clearly now. She really did inherit the work her grandfather was unable to complete.
祖父も医学的見地からだけでなく、古文書などの文献からもひなみ沢症候群を探っていたの。ひなみ沢症候群と何百年にもわたって共にあった村の文献を調べることは、何百倍もの倍率を持つ顕微鏡を除くより価値があり得るというのは、祖父が私に教えてくれたことなの。
なるほどね。だとしたら自分の完成できなかった研究をこれだけ立派に引き継いでくれたおじいさんはきっと喜んでいるだろうね。こんなに熱心な孫に引き継げてとても嬉しいはずさ。
そうだといいわね。
I said something Takano-san would normally tease me about, but she didn't. She nodded and smiled. There's no mistake. She is indeed the granddaughter of Dr. Takano.
祖父がひふみで123、私はミオで34。
Ah.
私は祖父を継ぎ、ようやく3を共に数えたに過ぎない。そして祖父の次の4を数え、私も祖父もまだ見ぬ5へ至らなければならない。それが私の使命であり、生まれてきた理由でもある。
それでミオという名前なんだね。素敵な名前だと思うよ。
ありがとう。私が孫だという話は内緒にしてほしいの。クライアントの人たちにも言っていないから。耳に入って痛くもない腹を探られたくないので。
うん、わかったよ。これは僕と高野さんの秘密ということで。
Although it's only a small secret, it feels good to think that I'm the only one who knows about it.
私はようやく3を数えただけ。まだ4にすら至っていない。研究の道のりはまだまだ険しく長いけれど、私は最後までやり抜くわ。必ずHinamizawa症候群の秘密を暴く。
僕もそれを応援するよ。もともとそれが僕の役割だしね。
もうそういう余計なことを言わなければ十分かっこいいのに。一言応援するって言ってくれればいいのよ。
するよ。君を応援する。
二度言い直してもダメね。一回で言えなくちゃかっこよくはならないわね。
Loser! Oh my god, whatever. We laughed cheerfully together. And after we finished laughing, she became serious again and spoke as if to drive the point home.
だから二郎さん、くれぐれも私が孫だって言わないようにね。
言わないよ。約束する。
孫だからいけないということはないけれど、クライアントがそれを知って不快に思ったら予算を切られるようなことがあるかもしれない。
そんなことはないと思うよ。第一、僕は喋らないしね。
絶対よ。本当の本当に絶対よ。
Okay, this is getting a little weird.
私はこの研究のために命をもらったの。祖父の研究を完成させることだけが私の使命。踏みにじられた研究が世界を驚かす偉大なものであったことを証明し、土の下で朽ちる祖父をたたえさせ、神に昇華させること。それだけが私の生きる理由であり目的なの。二郎さん、もしそれを邪魔するような不用意な言葉をあなたがうっかり漏らして研究に支障が出たならば。
大丈夫だよ。ここで聞いた話は忘れるよ。本当さ。いや、絶対に口外しない。僕は約束は守るよ。
Was that a little bit of paranoia I sensed? Anyway.
絶対に言わない。
絶対よ、二郎さん。
A little bit of paranoia is always good for the whole... What? No, I did not say whole. I said soul. Soul, troll, hole, bowl. What? Hi, what? I don't know. What? Shut up! Okay. I sensed something frightening within her for a moment. Oh my God. It's ass raping time. Oh, she's gonna have to pay the troll pole. What? Shut up. Afraid that she would end up possessed by it, I swore to keep my promise. Her intellectual curiosity as a researcher and her conviction to complete her grandfather's work are what stirs her passion for researching Hinamizawa syndrome. I think there's one more reason, but it's far too deep and it's within a wound in her heart that someone like me should never touch. But earlier, she said, if you create problems for my research, I wonder what she wanted to say after that. I can't help thinking she wanted to say something terrifyingly merciless. Oh, I think she wanted to. Oh, so bad. I kept my promise with her, and we never talked about the issue again after that. Good, good. Alright. Well, that was interesting. Alrighty then. How's it going, everyone? Part 3 of this recording of this video here. And I have some unfortunate news. Now, the guide that I was using beforehand to try and get the normal route out of the way so I can get the secret ending, it disappeared. I guess the gods have decided that I am unworthy of such a thing. Fortunately, there are others out there to help. I think. I'm not sure if this is the correct way, because by the looks of it, I completely missed some fragments that I was supposed to do beforehand. Maybe. Case in point, instead of going to a roll of a 1, we are going to go to Rika Furude. A conflict between the Hojo family and the Sonozaki family is required. Let's do it. I ran into Satoko while on my way to the grocery store for my mother. Satoko said she was going there too. So we decided to go together. After exchanging our shopping lists, it became easy to guess what the other family would be having for dinner. Satoko's family is having grilled fish and cooked vegetables. Ooh. We're having Salisbury steak. Okay. Hell yeah, steak is always good.
私、魚はともかく煮物というのがちょっと怖いんですのよ。
Of course.
先日買ったかぼちゃがまだだいぶ残ってるみたいなんですもの。きっと今夜もかぼちゃの煮物三昧なのです。かわいそかわいそなのです。あらかじめかぼちゃが出てくると分かっているのも憂鬱でございますわね。はあ、みー。突然かぼちゃを出されても怒るくせに贅沢なさとこなのです。リカにだって少しは嫌いな食べ物があるはずですわよ。そういえばリカ、大福とかシュークリームとか甘いものが嫌いだったんではございませんこと？別に嫌いではないのです。意地悪で食べないだけなのですよ。食べる気なら何個でも食べられちゃいますのです。パンプキンパイだって美味しくいただけますのですよ。みぱー。
Never had it. Don't want to either.
リカだけ好き嫌いがないなんてずるいですわ。
Conversations like this are how I have fun. Satoko is my best friend. I usually don't like a grocery shopping, but if I'm with Satoko, I can make it into an enjoyable evening stroll. Amen to that. Near the supermarket, there's a grocer's and other shops, forming a little shopping district. The grocery store is busy this time of day. All of the housewives in Hinamizawa gather here to shop. Since Satoko and I have different things to buy, we decide to do our shopping separately.
いらっしゃいいらっしゃい。おや、リカちゃま、いらっしゃい。 お買い物かい？えらいね。
ニパー、僕はお買い物ができる偉い子なのです。
そうかそうか、リカちゃまは偉いな。ほら、偉い子のご褒美にこれをあげよう。
There were several candies for the owner's occasional asthma attack inside a sieve full of change hanging from the front. He picked out a sweet from there and gave it to me. It was my favorite flavor, strawberry milk. I put it in my pocket so I can brag about it to Satoko later. I get a lot of fun out of teasing Satoko and making her jealous. She always overreacts, so I never get bored when I'm with her.
おや、リカちゃまのところは今日は何だい？豚のひき肉だと。ハンバー
グなのですよ。お花の形の目玉焼きを乗っけてケチャップでお絵かきをするのです。
Oh my god.
それはいいね。
I enjoyed that conversation while filling my shopping basket. But then I overheard some woman whispering. They are talking about something that's a little harsh. They are talking about Satoko. How long do those village traitors plan to stay here? They should just leave. They don't even have the guts to go shopping themselves and make their daughter do it instead. The woman went on and on. Ever since the Hojo family and the Sonosaki family got into a huge fight at the explanatory meeting at the dam project, the Hojo family has been ostracized within the village. At first, there were a significant number of families in favor of leaving, like the Hojos, but the main branch of the Sonosakis led a push to completely solidify the village's opinion, and as that tone of unified resistance grew stronger, the pro-evacuation family steadily grew quiet. The public harassment led by the Sonosakis and the Kimiyoshis, two of the three families with powerful influence in the village, also played an effect too. The Sonosaki family made the Hojo family into an example to ensure there would be no more pro-evacuation supporters. The ancestors of the village have lived here for generations, and the villagers also know that they themselves will be buried in this village, so this harassment put a lot of pressure on them. Who was it that agreed to make the Hojo family the leader of the pro-evacuation group at the explanatory meeting? Those same people no longer said anything, and they even joined in on harassing the Hojo family. The harassment they faced then became pressure from the entire village. The Hojo family is hardly wealthy, and they haven't paid the town council fees in a long time. When things were peaceful, nobody said anything about it. But now that the wind was blowing a different way, the Hojo family was asked to pay off all of their late council fees immediately. It wasn't an amount they couldn't afford, but the Hojos recognized a fight was being picked on them, and they responded to it. And so the Hojo family quit the town council. But that only played right into the village's evil plan. Evil indeed. Making an enemy of the town council meant facing vicious harassment. For example, the place of the Hojos dumped their trash was a provisional dumping site established by the town council and the waste management department. Under the council agreement, only council members could use it. Ever since the day the Hojo family quit the village council, their trash bags were returned to their front door. Furthermore, all the bags were torn. Spiteful little fuckers. On top of that, a sign went up at the hedge road near the Hojo family. It said, "Private road, no trespassing. Only council members permitted." A stubborn old man stood and guarded the road, saying that he would not let any of the Hojo family members pass through. A private road is private property, opened up to the public, so it looks just like a normal road. However, as private property, the owner can forbid anyone else to pass through whenever they feel like. Damn. More and more, the village piled on vicious harassment. The fear of antagonism spread through the entire village, and people became afraid that if they supported the Hojo family, they'd go through the same thing. This has made the Hojo family even more isolated. The grown-ups haven't told their kids about what's going on, so Satoko isn't harassed in any way at school. But it wasn't hard to imagine she probably spent her days feeling so anxious. My mouth. What the fuck happened? What the fuck? My mouth did a thing. I don't know what the hell that was. So anxious, she could hardly breathe. Even the woman whispering in here aren't saying anything directly at Satoko. But it's not like she doesn't notice the muttering and the cold stares. When did this village become so cold towards her? As her best friend, it's very sad for me. Satoko's shopping experience is nothing like mine. When I say hello or buy things, I usually get treats or a discount. But that doesn't happen to Satoko. On the contrary, she's served last on purpose, and sometimes shop owners even pretend that they don't hear her. Obviously, people don't want to have anything to do with her. Satoko had been weaving through the housewives crowding the shop, telling the fishmonger what she wanted, but she kept getting ignored. She's decided to keep her smile and pretend she doesn't mind, but I know. It was far too painful for her to endure. At that point, Satoko dropped her coins on the ground. Maybe her finger got stuck on something when she was trying to put the change back into her wallet. I ran through the crowd to help her pick them up. But as I did, I noticed something. Satoko dropped a lot of coins and is struggling to pick them all up, but nobody is helping her. It's not just that. It's almost like they're acting like they don't even see her there. Satoko isn't expecting anyone to help her, but she's the one who dropped them. Since she's the one that dropped them, sorry. But, there are so many people around, and not even one is trying to aid her.
サトコ、僕も拾いますですよ。大丈夫ですわよ、リカ。
That reaction is all I need to tell how hurt she is. Furthermore, when I started to help Satoko, other housewives started to pick up the coins too. Fuck you! I would start slapping those old bitches. What the fuck is that bullshit? Fucking Christ. Hopefully breaking their fucking jaws, those old little monk... Oh. Oh, settle down. Okay. As if it's the natural thing to do. So they can only help if a shrine maiden of the Furude family does. If I didn't help, they would have disregarded her completely. And the fact that other people helped only because I did hurt Satoko even more. I grabbed the coins from the housewives without thanking them. I'd rather spit at them than do that.
ありがとうございますわ。リカ。
Start slapping them with carrots and shit.
皆さん。
If she didn't thank them, people would talk about that too. Satoko forced out her words of gratitude. The housewives looked down at her with blank expressions. I can't stand this. I can't stand what Satoko is going through right now.
お買い物が終わりましたら行きましょうです、サトコ。
I would fucking tell them off. Who gives you the fucking right? Like, what the fuck, man?
ええ、
I grabbed Satoko's arm and pulled her away. I was frustrated, sad, and bitter. What has Satoko done? Reality is just too cruel. Amen to that. Everyone loves me, but can I share that love with Satoko? Satoko must be wondering why people treat me so differently. I shouldn't come shopping with her. Or rather, I should have done her shopping instead.
さとこ、なんですのリカ。風にをばらまいてしまって、かわいそうなのです。なので、これはさとこへの残念賞なのですよ。
She's gonna give her the candy, right? I wanted to at least ease her pain a little bit, so I pulled out the strawberry milk candy I just received. That, my friends, is a good friend. But Satoko refused to take it.
その飴はリカがもらったものではありませんの。
Just shove it in her mouth. Just shove it in her mouth. Force her to take it. My hand froze. She saw me getting this candy.
渡した人だってリカに食べてほしいと思って渡したんですわ。
This hurts, man. I hate this. This is a bad start to a recording. What the fuck? Fuck, man.
だから私が食べたら失礼ですわよ。
Satoko turned her back on me and kept walking. Without even saying goodbye, she continued on to her house with the shopping bags in her hands. I only wanted to ease her pain, but I ended up rubbing salt in her wound. How can I call myself her best friend? If I could, I would have crushed the candy right there. What a sad start to a recording, man. What the fuck? How long are we in? 16 minutes, of course. Alright. I'm slow as fuck in these frickin' fragment bullshit. Alright, so I've done that one. I don't know if I did the old guy. Phrasing. Shut the fuck up. Did I do it? Did I do? Did I? Yes, I did. I did the old guy. I'm a child. Okay. All right. By my calculations, this is the next one that we're supposed to do. Let's see if it works. It does. Hallelujah. The gathering place inside the Furude Shrine is in fact the headquarters of the Onigafuchi Guardians. Normally, a shrine should be a calm and quiet place, but there are anti-dam signs everywhere, making it very obvious what this location has become. There are over 30 members of the Guardians here at the moment, and they are having a heated conversation about their plans for the future. Although this meeting place is on the Furude family's property, it's a community facility, so it closes at 9 p.m. Of course, sometimes a discussion gets so heated that it goes on past closing time, but meetings are supposed to end by 9. If a discussion ends early, they usually chit-chat until that time. That's what usually happens. Of course, they mostly talk about the dam even when they chit-chat. They talk about someone's mistreatment of the government office, or someone getting arrested unjustly, or complain that people at the dam construction site are too violent. Since it's idle chatter, the topics are slightly emotional, and because of that, there was a good deal of bad-mouthing the Hojos.
そしたらさ、回覧板捨てちゃったとか言い出すんだよ。
Oh my god, you poor baby.
普通に考えてそんなことするかね。
あそこの奥さんはさ、ちょっとこの間もさ、ゴミ置き場で牧野さんとこのばあさんとすんげえ口論してて。
だいたいなんていうかね、本当に粗暴だよね、あそこのご主人は。理性がないというか。ああ、お前さんは地元説明会の時を見てないのかい？ありゃすごかったよなあ。あそこまで言うからにゃもう村にはおれんよ。さっさと出てけばいいのにさ。金がもらえないのどうのこうの。あさましいったらありゃしないね。
いや、理性のなさで言ったらあそこの奥さんも相当なもんだよ。
それでやっぱり遺伝なのかしらね。あそこのお嬢さん、買い物によく見かけるんで挨拶するんだけど、向こうから挨拶は絶対に返さないのよ。だから私たちバカバカしくなっちゃって、以来見かけても知らないふりしてんだから。
それ言ったらあそこの坊主もいっつも暗そうな顔してるよな。
Okay. Even berating little kids, that's nice. By now, the Hojo family has become the enemy of the whole village. Bad-mouthing the Hojo family was the greatest shared topic that anyone could easily contribute to. If he had known how powerful the three families were, especially the Sonozaki family, and if he had known Uryu-san's character, he wouldn't have said the things he did. The Hojo couple are residents here. Though they were never very enthusiastic about the council activities, they should have known what kind of person Uryu-san is. He could have imagined just what would happen to him if he talked to her that way. Yet, he let his anger take over and voiced his unpleasant feelings. So most people think the Hojo family brought their isolation upon themselves. If they wanted to negotiate with the government regarding the move, they should have done so privately. Yet he was foolish enough to express himself at a public gathering like that. So not too many sympathize with the Hojo family. Ever since the big fight at the explanatory meeting, the Sonozaki family has looked at the Hojo family as their enemy and started to go after them. That caused the other pro-dam families to go quiet, fearing they'd be made into scapegoats too, and those who wanted to leave were bitterly forced to give up. Even those people started criticizing the Hojo couple, saying they could have gotten their compensation to leave if the two hadn't picked that reckless fight. Both the anti-dam and pro-dam people hate the Hojos now, and the family has become even more isolated. Moreover, the Hojos are both very aggressive. They should have stayed quiet at least until things settled down, but they didn't. That alienated the handful of people who took pity on them as well, so now nobody even says anything to them. All of that was immediately obvious by listening to the foul talk here and there at the gathering place. Rika always helps out by putting the teacups away, so I'm sure she hears what they say as well. One of the Hojo family members there bad-mouthing is Rika's friend, Satoko-chan. It hurts to think about what Rika feels while hearing that. As priest of the Furude Shrine, should I let this continue? Oyashiro-sama is a god who makes peace between enemies. When the humans and demons fought, Oyashiro-sama descended from heaven and mediated between both sides. As the caretaker of the shrine, I must do something before it goes too far. I'm sitting next to Oryo-san, who is spitefully disparaging the Hojo family.
すったらんだほが抜かしおるんよ。花ボケ。ならんしゃもあもないんかいね、ほんまに。知らんやっちゃいな。
あんの裏切り者には絶対お社様のたたりが下るんで許されなかといな。
The elderly people cheer her on as they listen to her speak. If I barge in now, I have a feeling it won't be a peaceful conversation, but I have to make up my mind. As the priest of the Furude Shrine, also for the sake of Rika's friend, Satoko-chan.
お嬢さん、北条さんの悪口を言うのは、そろそろこれくらいにしませんかね。
Oh boy.
はあ、なんね、何倍よりおるんかいな。
いや、北条さんもそんな悪気はなかったと思うんだが、あまりいつまでも尾を引くのはかわいそうだと。
しゃらしいね。
Damn.
おめあれを聞いちゃどんなすったらもあんとね。なあ、おしゃらしい。ああ、しゃらしいしゃらしい。
Oryu-san is the head of the Sonozaki family, the heir to the demons. She never forgives anyone who stands against her. So there's no way she would even listen to what I'm trying to say. Oryu-san and the others became furious and refused to listen to me. I also mentioned that the dam construction plan will be cancelled soon, so they should calm down already. I said that because the staff at the Erie Clinic told me that the government is putting some kind of pressure on the Ministry of Construction. But thinking that I'm being an opportunist, soon criticism of me began to circulate the room. After that, I realized that I've become branded as a fence sitter. If the demons are willing to listen, then there's a chance to make peace. But how can I make peace with people who refuse to listen? I destroyed their mood, so I just have to give up and shut my mouth. Then I felt a little hand on my back.
リカか、もう遅い時間だから家に戻っていなさい。
私たちがいくら努力しても届かない。
Rika looked into the distance while she spoke.
このよどみ切った村の悪兵は、そのよどみに住まう私たちにはどうしようもないのかもしれない。でも希望をなくすものか。今にきっとこいつらを打ち破ってくれる人がやってくる。今にきっと。
Her eyes shone as if seeing a future that only the maiden of the Furude Shrine could see. Hell yeah. That was a short one. Okay. Cool. Next up, Mion Sonozaki. Ooh, introducing. Yes, this one. Strawberry milk candy is required. Aww. Okay. Let's go. Okay.
Mion-san! Your friend is here!
I heard the housekeeper's voice. That old, wrinkly voice. Our house and the front yard are huge, so unlike normal houses, ringing a doorbell or yelling my name repeatedly asking to play won't work.
はいはい、ありがとうございます。どなたです？
Rika Furude-chama!
あー、来たね来たね。
I'm terribly sorry.
ばっちゃんにリカちゃまが来たって伝えてもらえます？
Yes, I will. I'm too old for this shit.
多分あっちの縁側にいると思います。
I'll find her. You piece of youngling shit.
私はスイカを引き上げてきますね。
You do that.
I'll stop. Alright. Granny received many beautiful watermelons from somebody, so she wanted to share. Aw, sharing is caring. I just called the Furude house a short time ago, and Rika-chan is here to pick one up. Nice. Did she come on her bicycle? I can't remember if it was a big enough basket. I pulled the watermelon from the well while thinking about that. The cold water in the well was refrigerated, has refrigerated the watermelon, and the condensation makes it look delicious. Mwah! Magnificent. The 3 members of the Furude family will enjoy it for at least 2 nights. Nice.
Me? お持ち帰りだったのですか?
You're goddamn tootin'.
僕はてっきり。
あれ? おじさん、そう言わなかったっけ?
The priest answered the phone, and I thought I told him to come pick it up. Maybe I wasn't clear enough, or maybe he misunderstood me completely. But she's here to eat the watermelon, not to take it home. Besides, the small basket on Rika-chan's bicycle won't hold the watermelon. And it's too dangerous for her to ride while holding it in her hands.
ミオン、お前リカちゃまんちまで超持ってたらな。
Yes, let's go for a walk.
さいか片手な自転車なん焦がれんて。
Have a nice old shot.
みー、僕だってスイカくらい持てますのですよ。
あ、危な。
It's bigger than your head, goddammit. How is that even gonna be possible for you to hold it?
リカちゃまに何かあったら、お社様に申し訳立たんね。
Hell, I don't even know how that thin-ass neck of yours can hold up that head of yours. Damn, I'm not surprised you're snapping every fucking second.
うちのミオンが運ぶんね。任せたったら。
はい、任せられたったら。じゃあついでに神主さんにご挨拶でもしてこようかね。
You do that. Yeah, bitch.
No matter whether she rides or pushes her bicycle, Rika-chan's hands will be occupied. So I'm going to carry the watermelon. The sky is turning auburn in the sunset. The cool breeze feels good on my sandaled feet. The plastic bag I'm carrying contains the watermelon, and also some small bags of rock candy. Ooh. If her mother finds them, she'll take them away, so we decided to eat them before we got to her home. We opened the bags and enjoyed the rock candy. Rika-chan isn't an exception. Whenever kids from our neighborhood come to our house for errands, Granny gives them some treats.
Some treaty sweets. Woohoo!
Actually, that's a pretty common rule here in Hinamizawa. It's funny, but sometimes when parents aren't watching, siblings will fight over who gets to take the circular notice to the next house over. So these bags of rock candy are like tips for them. Pff, fuck that, give me money, bitch. Of course, she doesn't normally give out this much. Usually it's just a little piece of it. Granny is being extra nice to Rika-chama.
僕だけこんなにいろいろおだちんをもらうと、
Why the fuck
他
is
の
that?
人に悪い気がしますです。
My special case? Am I special?
別に気にすることないんじゃない？おだちんは好意みたいなもんなんだもん。
Well, I don't love her.
変に断るよりは子供らしくありがとうって言って笑顔を見せる方がよっぽどいいと思うけどね。
She can go fuck herself.
みーはおだちんをよくもらいますですか？
All the damn time!
昔はね。
Damn, well, I was half right.
でもさすがにこの年になったらもらわなくなったな。
Why the fuck not? You're a teenager, you're almost an adult. Eat whatever the fuck you want. Kind of.
今もらうとなんとか子供扱いされてるみたいでかえってカチンとくるかな。なんてね。
It depends. I mean, if you're getting it for yourself, that's fine. But if you're getting handled a piece of candy from them, then yeah. What?
みー僕は子供扱いなのです。
Yes, you are, because you are just that, a child.
いいじゃん、いいじゃん。
But sometimes being a child is just what it is. And sometimes it's a good thing because the adult world It's a harsh one, so enjoy being a child while you can.
もらえるうちにもらっとけばいい。
Exactly, Mion, we agree.
私くらいになれば欲しくてももらえなくなるんだからさ。
As we talked about ordinary things, I noticed Rika-chan seemed a little sad.
どうしたの？
Oh shit.
僕はお買い物に行ってもよくおだちんに飴をもらいますが。
We're gonna talk about the shopping incident.
さとこは一緒に行ってももらえませんです。
I could think of so many reasons why. Not only Satoko, but everyone in the Hojo family is being treated poorly in Hinamizawa. And the Sonasaki family are the ones who instigated that. The 2 dam supporters have died in an accident already. But the malice against the Hojo family is still ongoing. It's directed against Satoko and Satoshi, their children, and the aunt and uncle who are taking care of them. The big fight between the Hojo family and the Sonasaki family at the explanatory meeting started all of this. But that was the Hojo couple, and it shouldn't have anything to do with the children and the aunt and uncle. But the idea that the Hojo family are traitors evolved on its own. Therefore, anyone bearing the Hojo name is to be treated poorly. The aunt and uncle weren't dam supporters, so over time the attacks towards them should have stopped. But they're rather odd, and they keep having trouble with their neighbors. They don't follow the community rules, and they don't do their community duties. Duties. I'm a child. And they spray pesticide while their neighbor's laundry is still hanging outside. What the fuck? Rude. They often get into fights with the other villagers. They'd be hated even without the dam. Therefore, the Hojo family continues to be treated poorly. But none of that should have anything to do with Satoko and Satoshi. Satoko and Satoshi are often depressed at school. I'd tried to leave the conflict between the 2 families aside, but I wonder how they really feel about that. From their point of view, I'm just another member of the family that keeps harassing them.
せめて学校にはそんな雰囲気を持ち込ませたくない。だから私はそういう風に振る舞ってるつもりだよ。
それを学校の中だけでなく外にも広げるにはどうしたらいいのですか？
That'd be pretty difficult. The Hojo family made enemies of the 3 families. They were branded as traitors, and that's still considered the truth. It wouldn't mean anything if one person suggested an end to the hostilities just because the events around the dam are history now. On the contrary, that would just put them in the same position. Unfortunately for Satoko and Satoshi, the only thing they can do is to wait patiently until the issue withers away. All I can do for them is provide an oasis until that day comes.
では、さとこたちはいつまで耐え忍べばいいのですか？
Until that old crone dies.
わかんない。ラム戦争は数年に及んだ。その時に押された烙印を払拭するんだから、それと同じ年数はかかるかもしれないね。
Or until we find the correct fragment and Keiichi is like the master of everything. He's the new boss now, motherfucker. Hell yeah. Keiichi for the win, baby.
それはつまり、さとこたちが大人になるまで誰にも許してもらえないということですか？
Not exactly, no.
さとこが子供のうちはずっと村中から冷たい目で見られていろということですか？
それはあまりにも辛いね。
僕たちはさとこやさとしの仲間なのですよね。
そうだよ。私にとってだって二人は友達だよ。仲間だよ。
なら僕たちの仲間を救うために僕たちに何かできることはないのでしょうか？
私たちに 何ができるんだろうね。
Even if the Sonozaki family declares that the damn conflict is over, so the Hojo family are no longer outcasts, that won't solve the problem. It's not that simple. In the first place, Granny hates the Hojo family and won't suffer their name to be mentioned in her presence. It's not a matter of someone forgiving another. It's a matter of very complicated ties between the people in this village. It's absolutely terrifying to have them as your enemies. Everyone knows that very well, and that's why they maintain good relationships with their neighbors. However, if you make enemies out of them, you'll have to face the consequences. That's the unwritten law of the Japanese community. And the Sonozaki family is a part of this unwritten law. Now that the Hojo family are outcasts, not even the Sonozaki family can overturn the situation.
Hinamizawa のことは、Hinamizawa の人間にはどうしようもないということなのでしょうか。
悲しいけど、そういうこともあるかもしれない。もし、里子を救う人が現れてくれるとしたら、それは、村のしがらみにとらわれない、そういう人なんだろうね。でも、そんな人、村にはいない。
I wonder who's being mentioned right here. Okay.
村の外から誰かが助けに来なければ救われない。
Yeah. Enter Keiichi. What's up, motherfuckers? I'm here to change everything. Oh, shit. I'm here to fuck up this village. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Oh, I should be reading, but I'm laughing because I'm stupid. Okay, anyway, what? Like Rika-chan says, would a knight in shining armor from the outside world ever come here? Would that person bring a new wind into this village that has been filled with stale air for hundreds of years? No way. That's just wishful thinking. Time will solve the problem someday. Until then, I have to be their ally. I can't think of anything else I can do for them. As Rika-chan and I crunched on our rock candy, we can only pray that people will forgive Satoko and her family sooner rather than later. Rika-chan gently broke the heavy silence.
きっと村の外からしがらみにとらわれない人がやってきます。
Yeah.
そうだね。ダム戦争も終わったんだから、また分譲地に外から人が引っ越してきてくれるといいね。近い年の転校生とか来れば楽しいだろうに。
Damn. For some reason that just put a giant smile on my face.
来ます。きっと。そして彼と力を合わせて私たちは村の悪兵を打ち破るのです。
Hell yeah, Rika.
それが私たちの未来を閉ざす3つの錠前に対する最初の鍵。
え？何それ？なんかの小説
Rika-chan says some odd things sometimes. When she talks that way, she seems so mature. I even start to doubt she's really younger than I am. The unreasonable antagonism towards the Hojo family. Will there really be someone from the outside who will shatter our old traditions? Can I introduce you to someone? Here we go! No, not up next is another introductory. It's, I think I've done that one. And I think I've done that. Oh, wait. Nope. No, I didn't do that one yet. No, I didn't. Okay. So, this one right here. Nope. This one? Yes. Wait, did I do that one? Shit. I'm gonna go check. Yes, I did. Okay, cool. So then, suffering of a big brother. Rock candy as a treat is required. Satoko Hojo's detailed test result is required. Yep, okay, let's go. A group of boys are playing baseball under the powerful sun. The sound of cicadas makes the heat stand out even more. But to those boys, it's just another kind of cheering from the crowds.
Cicadas!
Of course, they go through training exercises to build stamina. But the boys don't actually like such routine activities. What they look forward to the most is the free game after practice. The school in Hinamizawa is actually borrowed from the forestry service. The schoolyard is made of gravel, so it's not very appropriate for playing sports on. Compared to that, the grounds of the school in Okonomiya are properly maintained for athletic activities, so the kids grow even more energetic when they come here. Kids from Hinamizawa really don't care if the ground is made of gravel or not. The other instructor is watching the game, so I decided to go get some drinks for the team.
監督、どこへ行くんですか？
皆さんにジュースを買ってこようと思いまして。
You do that.
もしよかったら、サトシ君も手伝ってくださるととても助かるのですが。
はい、お手伝いします。
Satoshi Kun decided to come along with me. Sometimes kids don't like what grown-ups choose, so I'm glad he agreed to help. Satoshi Kun and I got in the car and headed for the grocery store nearby.
監督、サトコの具合はどうなんですか？
ええ、経過は良好ですよ。本当にゆっくりとですが、サトコちゃんの心の傷も癒えてきています。もう少しだけ安静にしてあげた方がいいでしょう。
It's natural for Satoshi Kun to be worried. Satoko-chan has been in the hospital for over 2 weeks. Of course, he doesn't know his sister has Hinamizawa syndrome. Not only that, she's almost at L5. She could become deranged at any moment. He believes she's depressed because of the shock of their parents' accident. He came to the clinic every day to cheer his sister up. But Satoko-chan has become emotionally unstable and was showing some dangerous symptoms, so we called off the visits. In fact, Satoko-chan... my mouth, again, what the hell? In fact, Satoko-chan, there we go, is not doing so well. L5, the stage Satoko-chan is at, is a very abnormal one. The man from last year, who was at that same stage, was acting so abnormal that even the drug addict in his final stages would have turned and ran. There's no guarantee Satoko-chan won't fall into the same condition. When we performed the autopsy on that man last year, we learned that the true identity of the syndrome and gained a great understanding of its mechanisms. We even discovered some important facts that may lead to the development of a cure. However, we have yet to find a method of actually curing the disease. So if Satoko-chan becomes unrecoverable, we may have to dissect her, just like we did the man from last year. How can I tell Satoshi Kun about his sister's situation? All I can do is make vague comments and lie to him that she's recovering. What if she becomes much worse? That would make me an unforgivable liar. The tiny bit of conscience that remains in me hurts.
もし監督の診療所のご迷惑でなければ、もうしばらく入院させてもらった方がいいかもしれません。
それはどういう意味ですか?
Because the situation at home is not great. Duh? I thought he wanted her to come home as soon as possible, so I'm a little surprised.
いえ、実はあまりおばさん一家とも馴染めていないんです。
Righto.
サトコちゃんがご両親とあまり良い関係ではなかったと聞いていましたが、新しく預けられたおばさん夫婦ともなのですか?
サトコは大人にはあまり心を開かないので。
Satoshi Kun has told me about their family background. Their mother's constant remarriages wounded her children deeply. Satoshi Kun was able to overcome it, but Satoko-chan was too young to be able to do that. That left her traumatized, and she now has the tendency to distrust or dislike guardians who aren't related to her. Actually, nobody would like a guardian who isn't related to them. It's not just Satoko-chan. But usually people try to deal with that, even if they don't like it. I guess Satoko-chan's not capable of that. I guess not.
おじさんはあまり家に帰ってこないし、いても寝てるかテレビを見てるかなのでそんなに問題はないんですが、おばさんがものすごく聡子に絡むんです。
どうしてそんなに嫌われてしまったんでしょうね。
I can guess why. Satoko-chan's parents were damn proponents, and because of that, the villagers considered the aunt and uncle part of the Hojo family and orchestrized them as such. Moreover, they passed away suddenly in an accident and left 2 children behind, so I guess there would be more hate there than gratitude. If she had been obedient like Satoshi Kun, everything would have been fine. But Satoko-chan can't be that way. She shows that in her attitude and expressions, which leads to her and her aunt having a big fight.
僕もおばさんに聡子の事情を説明してはいるのですが、なかなか分かってもらえなくて。
その度に聡子ちゃんをかばってあげるサトシ君はお兄さんの鏡だと思いますよ。今や聡子ちゃんにとって唯一の肉親はサトシ君だけなのかもしれませんからね。
そうですね。そんな気がしてます。
Satoshi-kun said with a slight hint of a sigh. He doesn't say it, but it seems Satoshi-kun has grown tired of having to cover for Satoko-chan every time she and her aunt fight. He's a good person, as well as a good big brother, so I'm sure he'll do anything to cover for his sister. But that's a very exhausting thing to keep doing forever. Satoshi-kun was already doing that when their parents were alive, and eventually his mental equilibrium couldn't handle the strain. He grew sick, and he visited my clinic. I thought his circumstances might have improved after their initial cause. His parents, were gone. But it seems things were even worse than before.
わかりました。そんな状況で聡子ちゃんを退院させたら、また心の症状がぶり返してしまうかもしれませんね。入院費のことは気にしないでください。聡子ちゃんが本当の意味で回復するまで、私が責任を持ってお預かりします。
While trying to pretend while I'm listening to his request, I feel a little disgusted at myself for making such selfish excuses. I'll make sure. Takano-san is working on her dissection plan as we speak.
お願いできると僕も少しだけ助かります。
はい？
いえ、聡子がもうしばらく入院しててくれたら、僕もその分気が楽だなって思っただけです。
それはどういう意味ですか？
聡子が帰ってきたら、どうせまたおばと喧嘩をするだろうと思います。そうしたらまた喧嘩や怒鳴り声ばかりの日になって、僕もそれに巻き込まれるのかなって思うと、聡子はずっと入院しててくれるのが一番僕にとって気楽なことなんじゃないかって、そう思ってしまう自分がいて嫌になります。
サトシ君。
Satoshi-kun is a great big brother who always sticks up for his little sister. But that doesn't mean he doesn't feel burdened.
そんなことを考えてしまうなんて、僕はなんて悪い兄なんだろうって思います。そうだと思えば思うほど自分が嫌になって。
Satoshi-kun said, sniffling once. His expression was one of anguish, as if truly feeling his own sin. His desire to be a model big brother is putting himself under greater pressure. I feel bad for Satoko-chan, but I also feel bad for Satoshi Kun in a different way. As someone who knows the both of them well, I feel that I must be their ally, since they don't have anyone else who cares about them. Damn, I'm rolling through these fast. Wonder what the fuck's happening today. I don't know. That was, what, the 4th or the 5th one I'd done today? In this recording, I mean. 1, 2, 3. That was 4. In less than an hour? Damn, that's a record. Alright, so I've done that one. Did I? I don't know. I'll go look anyway. Just in case, you never know. Yes, I did. Okay. So then next is that one. I did. I don't remember about that one. Let me go look. Yep, I did. Okay, so next up is the 3rd sacrifice, which I know for a fact I did not do yet. So let's do it. Okay, do not like the music. The situation has changed. Rika's father suddenly changed his mind about having her help out with the research. When Rika came down with a high fever the other day, her mother, who wasn't happy about her daughter helping in the first place, finally blew up. I was hoping the father would convince her somehow, but now he seems to be on her side. Rika's father didn't get emotional like her mother, but he demanded that we make our research plans for Rika clear, and that we finish our research within 3 months at most, which was completely unrealistic. Research can't have a deadline. That's out of the question. We cultivate results by grinding down our knowledge, skills, and time. To take time away from us is like taking away what's vital to live. How could he say such a thing? Curses, 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 curses! Because parents are only saying that because they don't know anything about scientific research. However, as they are the parents of the Queen Carrier, we are completely lost about what to do. Okay, this is the perspective of Takano, obviously. Tests and experiences. Let me reread that. Tests and experiments, there we go, on the Queen Carrier are an essential part of the research into Hinamizawa syndrome. Her existence is the focal point of our work. To lose her would be like losing your sense of direction out in open water. Rika is providing her cooperation with our research, but with the withdrawal of her guardian's consent would be a setback. The situation is extremely dire. Rika's parents are only interested in finding a cure, but to me the cure is only a small part of solving the mystery. I can't let her go. Are our differences causing this predicament? And it's not only them. The same is happening between Eri and me. Yep, okay. He thinks it's inevitable that we'd need to stop the research if Rika's parents refuse to consent. That's understandable. From the beginning, Eri never had the determination to solve the mysteries of Hinamizawa syndrome. He won't back down from the research assertively, but he will passively by agreeing with Rika's parents. Is that the attitude of a researcher who's trying to unravel mysteries? He's the type of man who would step on my grandfather's research with his dirty feet. Rude. He is nothing but a coward who's in this half-heartedly. He started to feel guilty over his past the moment he saw blood. He isn't qualified to even be involved in researching Hinamizawa syndrome. He is simply an outsider who joined in because of the client's demands. If I were a man, he wouldn't be here in the first place. While it's true he produced wonderful results with his development of a cure, he seems to think it's alright to close up shop with that. Is he planning to waste everything by being satisfied with just that tiny result? That man doesn't have any right to discard my grandfather's research. I can feel my guts boiling. No. Eri isn't the main person at fault. The one to blame here is that woman, Rika's mother. If she wasn't so selfish, this wouldn't have happened. Maybe it's partly my fault. I maintained trust through relationships and obligations all this time, but somehow Rika's mother and I didn't get along, so I didn't try to socialize with her. I thought it was fine because I got along with Rika and her father, but now the mother has influenced the father and changed his decision. What negligence! What a reversal! What a blunder! Eri is saying we should talk to the office in Tokyo about what to do next. But I know once the Tokyo office finds out about this, they'll order us to shut the research down. I've worked so hard to even get things started. If they hear anything negative, they'll put a stop to it. I've come too far to complete my grandfather's research. I can't let it be stopped. I still have a little time to think about this. I need to calm down and analyze this carefully. I've always come up with a great plan when I drink my favorite tea and bite my nails like this. A nail biter, huh? I looked up at the ceiling and closed my eyes, as tenderly as possible. There were times where I couldn't find a solution, but someone else came up with a simple one. I've been able to overcome everything that's been thrown at me. I even endured the hell at the orphanage. So I will never let that woman get in my way. Settle your thoughts down. Think about this clearly. Be calm, Mio Takano. Someone else may come up with a better idea. But who? It's not me. It can't be Eri. Of course, nobody from the village will do. Do I talk to someone in Tokyo? No, I can't. I don't want to owe anyone a favor. Even Kayazumi-sensei will be disgusted if he found out. I can't solve such a simple matter by myself. Okay, it's moving by itself. Ah, I know. There's someone I can talk to nearby. They are supposed to be my subordinates, after all, so it's worth the try, the Mountain Dogs. I call the leader of the Mountain Dogs Okanogi. The Mountain Dogs are my subordinates, and they're part of the self-defense force, and I'm just a researcher. So we never really had a chance to interact. He did what he was supposed to do, and I did what I was supposed to do. So I never even thought of discussing anything with him. But the Mountain Dogs are there to protect and support our research. Why didn't I think of talking to him before?
Sora, nangina kot desu na.
Ugh. He looks different in this sprite here than the other previous ones. Ugh. I don't know how I feel about it. I just don't. Anyway, enough about that. He used to speak standard Japanese, but now he has the Hinamizawa accent. I guess fitting into the region is the first thing they need to do.
このままだと女王感染者の協力が受けられなくなるばかりか、騒ぎ立てる母親によって研究所の所在が暴かれる危険性もある。
Did somebody say secrets?
山犬で何か手は打てる?
Oh yeah. I asked Okanogi rather directly. I'm not really expecting an answer, but...
了解しました。山犬で対応します。お時間をいただければきれいにやりますよ。
Damn, alright.
対応?
Do you want to know?
警察沙汰にならんようにしますんで、少々の準備は必要ですが。
Oh my god.
難しい仕事じゃありませんね。
I'm startled. Rika's mother is my enemy, but I was thinking about how I could convince her. But the leader of the Mountain Dogs, the counterintelligence unit whose duty is to protect this secret research, came up with a much simpler plan. Just kill her, bro! All you gotta do is kill her, bro! But you can't stop there, you also gotta go for the father, too. Okay. Being a boob. I'm done. Alright. Okay.
それは殺すということ。
Just murder, bro. It's cool.
入江機関の機密保持にあたっては最悪の場合、それも持参中話のはずですが。
Ooh, Mr. Big Boy here.
もちろん、ご命令があって初めて実行することですが。
Oh. Right. This is a very simple problem to him. Rika's mother has started to interfere with our research. Not only that, there's a chance she might talk to people about the Institute. So they will eliminate her.
それは確かにうまい手ね。
Damn!
うまくやれるの？
Alright, she's on board. Well, of course she is, but still, I mean, damn, she didn't even have a thought about it. She just said, alright. I guess that is an option. Go for it.
大臣の孫の誘拐以来、久々の大仕事になりますわ。
Well, there's admitting it. Okay. Ah, I remember now. The Mountain Dogs are the ones who kidnapped the grandson of the Minister of Construction and used that to blackmail him. It has been a few years, so I completely forgot about that. They did such a marvelous job then. That's right. That's right. That's right. I have the Mountain Dogs on my side.
実行はすぐにでも可能？
Right away. Damn, no, he just said he has the plan, man.
ただ殺すだけなら今夜にでも。
Damn! Alright, never mind.
ただ、それでは騒ぎが大きくなりますんで、周到に監視してから、きれいに蒸発してもらうようお膳立てします。そのための時間さえもらえれば。
Just like a cat's eye under a bright light, I can feel something in the back of my eyes open up. Up until now, I've been racking my brain trying to figure out how to make her my ally, or at least make her surrender, or pacify her. Yet, one order to this man and the problem's easily solved. I feel like a bird taking its first flight. Ah, how easily I can get rid of that annoying mother. All I have to do is give an order. I feel grateful to Koizumi-sensei for giving me such a terrific subordinates. What a wonderful power he has given me. I was taught that all people are equal, but if I have the power to control people's lives, then that means I'm more important than they are. Oh my god, settle down there. What the fuck? What a feeling it is to be above others. Look at them go, those little ants. Crawl, ants, crawl.
消すのは、Furude Rikaの母親だけでいいですね。
Oh, come on. He had to ask that. Now she's gonna think the father. And now, okay, here we go.
Eh?
Yep. Alright, both the parents. Got it.
いや、ちょっと待って。
Does he mean only Rika Furude's mother? I can feel chills all over my body. If possible, maybe I should have her father disappear too. Rika is willing to help. She has no other relatives in the Furude family. If both parents die, she has to depend on someone. The Erie Institute can support her. We can give her status, money, and protection. We can give her everything. By doing so, maybe it's possible to make her one of us, rather than just having her as a helper. All of my worries are melting away. Everything I was just concerned about seems like a joke now. I had such powerful subordinates all this time, yet I never realized. All of my tension is being released, and I'm starting to feel relaxed. I can feel myself regaining my cool head. I'm going to get rid of them. Rika's parents, that is. The Queen Carrier is my guinea pig. Go fuck yourself, bitch! A guinea pig doesn't need parents. That's right. It's almost time for the Watanagashi festival. If they die on that day, people will call it the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. The murder case from 2 years ago, and the accident from last year are two separate incidents, yet because they happened on the day of Watanagashi, they are being called the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. Then, if her parents' deaths occur on this year's Watanagashi, it'll be Oyashiro-sama's curse 3 years in a row. The miracle of Oyashiro-sama. Also the curse. I'm going to create them. This is a chance for me to ascend to godhood and toy with human fate. The incidents that occurred 2 years in a row are said to be a curse, but not everyone believes that. However, if it happens 3 years in a row, then everyone has to believe it, right? Because that'll be the true curse that's created by me. I'll become Oyashiro-sama. My desire for revenge against God is coming together.
ただ消すだけではなんだか面白みがないと思わない?
Okay, so she slowly begun getting a little crazier by thinking that she's become a god, become Oyashiro-sama, because she's creating these circumstances each year of coincidentally putting off deaths or disappearances, rather. That's... damn. Oofa. When I started to laugh, Okanogi grinned to show his interest.
私たちの手でお社様のたたりを作ってみるの。
Go fuck yourself. I can't just let her die. She'll be demoned away, and I'm going to enjoy dissecting her alive. Of course, I won't just have fun. This will be extremely useful for our research. After all, she's the previous queen carrier. Damn. Yikes. Alright, so we've done that one. Next up is that one. Alright. We're actually in a perfect spot. Because everything else is... yeah, we're all caught up. Alright, this new guide is actually working out great for me. Alright. Wonderful. Like I said in the beginning of this third recording here, you all had seen it, hopefully. This new guide put me in a spot where I had apparently skipped a few things, so I'd done those that I skipped, and now I am caught up with where I was in the previous recording in part 2 of this video here. You won't know it, but I do, so there's that. What am I speaking about? I don't know. Let's go ahead and end this video here. We're actually a little bit more than halfway through. This video here is going to be a little bit above 3 hours, I believe. So that leaves 2 more, possibly, for this collection thing going on here. So that's going to be fun. So yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you didn't, please let me know why down in the comments below. Any feedback is appreciated. But if you did enjoy it, please leave a like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because there will be more Higurashi soon. So until next time, please, everybody, stay sinful, folks.